war against people in his own state over masks and vaccine mandates, despite a major surge of the virus in his state.
There will not be any government-imposed shutdowns or mask mandates.
It would be inappropriate to require people who already have immunity to wear a mask.
Out front now, Dr. Paul Offit. He is a member of the FDA's Vaccine Advisory Committee. Dr. Offit, Governor Abbott, fortunately, is fully vaccinated. He's not experiencing symptoms at this moment. And of course, he's getting the full Regeneron treatment. But his infection comes after months, right, of blocking mandates for masks, COVID vaccines. You saw him yesterday at this, big event, never wearing a mask around no one else. And obviously, we find out he had COVID. He has taken his fight against masks and vaccine mandates all the way to the state Supreme Court. How much does this diagnosis weaken his argument?
Well, I certainly wish Governor Abbott a speedy recovery, but I'm sure he's learning now that masks are a lot cheaper than Regeneron. Why tie the hands of the public health officials behind their back? You have two weapons here. One is vaccines, the other is masking. And for children less than 12, that's the only weapon they have. So I think it seriously weakens his argument. I hope he sees it that way.
Well, it's amazing, right? Regeneron's what, $1,500 per dose. And now he's getting it. Ron DeSantis has pushed that as a solution. I guess they think other state taxpayers are going to pay for it. I mean, it is pretty incredible. It's by far the most expensive option. And of course, you can get really sick. So we're also learning the Biden administration is preparing to recommend COVID booster shots for most adults 8 months after they're fully vaccinated. One source tells our Dr. Sanjay Gupta that officials are going to present the first U.S. data that shows waning immunity among vaccinated Americans. Okay, so that's what we hear. But then the CDC experts had a call with doctors today, and they actually said this.
We do want to clarify right away that the need for and timing of a COVID-19 booster dose has not been established.
Other fully vaccinated individuals do not need an additional dose right now.
Okay, so I'm really confused. The CDC does a call with doctors and says you don't need a booster, but the Biden administration is about to recommend a booster. What in the world is going on?
It's hard to understand. I mean, the CDC had a meeting last Friday where data were presented by Dr. Dooling, where she showed that protection afforded by the vaccine against the Delta variant, against serious disease in not only in the United States, but also in Canada, Israel, the United Kingdom, was excellent, meaning was in the 90% range. And that's the goal. The goal is that the vaccine has to protect us against serious disease. If the CDC now has new data showing that the data they presented a few days ago wasn't true, then we'll see it. But it is frustrating. You would like to think that the data would come first and then the recommendation would come second, because right now we're all guessing what's going on.
Well, it does. And of course, it creates a lack of confidence, which is really not the opposite, I know, of what we all want. But Doctor, we look at Israel. You just mentioned Israel data as part of this. They've already been recommending booster shots for people over the age of 50. They've been very clear of that. And, it's not just that. Time and time again, we hear Israel say something. We hear it sort of downplayed by some officials in the United States. And then within days or weeks or a month, all of a sudden, the U.S. sort of follows Israel. What is the issue here? Is there hesitation, do you think, on trusting what Israel data is, or what's going on here?
Well, we have a Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which is also generating data. And the data that they presented last Friday clearly show that these vaccines protected against serious disease. So again, you would like to see new data. If we're going to change that recommendation, I would be hard pressed to believe that we're making a change in the recommendation solely based on Israeli data. Tomorrow we'll learn about the data that they're looking at. But I hope this doesn't happen. What I hope doesn't happen is that we are seeing sort of fading in immunity against asymptomatic infection or mildly symptomatic infection, because that has to happen at some level. The goal is to protect against severe critical disease. To date, it appears that vaccines were doing it. That's why when Dr. Dooling said what she said, it made abundant sense. So I guess we'll have to wait to see what data they have. But I hope they're clear, because they would have to be clear in order to change that recommendation.
Right. I mean, it's significant. And of course, as you and I both know, you're going to have a lot of people worried and rushing and checking their dates. And, this is not a small thing. Dr. Offit, I appreciate your perspective and your time. I always do. Thank you.
My pleasure.
And next, as veterans